This question was asked in the first question paper of General Studies in UPSC CSE Prelims 2022. This question is of 2 marks and it has been asked from the history of ancient India, which is related to the kings and their dynasties. In this question, as you can see here, on one side the name of some kings are given and on the other side the names of some dynasties are given right in front of them. Here we have to identify whether these kings belong to the same dynasty which is given in front of them or they belongs to some other dynasty. And in this way we have to identify how many correct pairs are there out of these 4 given pairs and choose one of the options from A, B, C or D which will be correct. So friends, without any further delay, let's solve this question. So let's look at this question. In this question here you can see in the first given pair the name of the king given here is Nannuk and in front of it the name of the dynasty given here is Chandel dynasty. Friends, this combination is absolutely correct because Nannuk was a king of Chandel dynasty. The Chandelas were an Indian dynasty in central India who ruled much of the present-day Bundelkhand region between the 9th and 13th or 14th century. They belonged to the Chandel clan of Rajput. The Chandel dynasty was founded by King Nannuk in India in the 9th century. King Nannuk was the first ruler of the Chandel dynasty, whose reign lasted from about 831 AD to 845 AD. He ruled in the Jajak Bhukti region, that is Bundelkhand of present-day Madhya Pradesh. His capital was Khajuraho. Friends, the ancient name of today's Bundelkhand was Jajak Bhukti. It was a famous state of Gupta period, which is situated between Yamuna and Narmada rivers. It was ruled by the Chandel kings. That is why this dynasty is also called Chandel dynasty. This region was named Jajak Bhukti after the name of Jai Shakti or Jeja, the grandson of King Nannuk. Hence, this dynasty is also called the Chandel dynasty of Jajak Bhukti. Yashovarman, Dhangdev, Vidyadhar and some other are the main rulers of this dynasty. You can see almost all the rulers of Chandel dynasty here. Now let's look at the second pair. In this pair, the king's name given here is Jai Shakti and the dynasty name given here is Parmar. Friends, this combination is wrong because King Jai Shakti is not from Parmar dynasty, but he is from Chandel dynasty. As you can see his name here in this list of Chandel dynasty. Also you can see almost all the rulers of Parmar dynasty here in this list. The Parmar dynasty was also an Indian dynasty that ruled Malwa and surrounding areas in west central India between 9th and 14th century. That's why their dynasty also known as Parmar dynasty of Malwa. They belongs to the Parmar clan of Rajputs. The rulers of this dynasty were initially feudatories under Pratihars, that is Gurjar Pratihars. The Parmar dynasty was started by Upendra Krishna Raj in the Malwa region north of the Narmada river in the late 8th and early 9th centuries. The early rulers of this dynasty are said to have most probably ruled as vassals of the Rashtrakoot of Manyakhet. The earliest extant Parmar inscriptions issued by the 10th century ruler Siyak have been found in Gujarat. Siyak is the earliest known Parmar king attested by his own inscriptions. His Harsola copper plate inscription, which is around 949 CE, is the earliest available Parmar inscriptions. It suggests that he was a vassal of Rashtrakuts. Around 972 CE, Siyak sacked the Rashtrakoot capital Manyakhet and established the Parmar as a sovereign power. Siyak, also known as Harsa, who was a Parmar king who ruled in the west central India, is believed to be the first and independent powerful ruler of the Parmar dynasty. The capital of Parmar dynasty was Ujjain. Later, Dharan that is Dhar, becomes the capital. The most ruled region of the Parmar dynasty was the Malwa, Khandesh, Konkan, Chittor, etc. region of Madhya Pradesh states. Vakpati Munj, Raja Bhoj are seen as the main rulers of this dynasty. Friends, vassals mean a holder of land area by feudal tenure on condition of homage and allegiance. In Hindi, vassals known as Jagirdar, and it is made up of 2 words Jagir and Dar. The meaning of Jagir is special area, that is in the middle period the land or territory received by a person on behalf of the king or state or as a reward in return for a special service done by this person was called Jagir, and Dar means officer. In the time of Gupta period and Mughal period, the officer of such land area was called Jagirdar or vassals. Similarly, in Hindi, landlord known as Jamidar. The word Jamidar is also made up of two words, Jamin plus Dar. Jamin means land and Dar means officer. So, landlord or Jamindar means owner of the land. The vassals or Jagirdar was in charge of an entire area, while the landlord or Jamidar was in charge of a particular part within that area. Jagirdar has that entire area. It could have a whole village, city, town, or many small villages. The Jagirdar was given that area on behalf of the emperor for lifetime in exchange for his special service or as a reward. The Jagirdar had to do many things in the interest of the emperor, which includes judicial system, administration, organizing the army, collecting taxes from the public, etc. The landlord was the owner of a large or small part of a land. His work was to control the land, that is, the agriculture system, and to collect revenue from the farmers. No other responsibility was necessary for him. Similarly, Samanta or feudal lord, a high ranking chieftain who lived under a king who was the leader or head of a group or troops, etc., who behaved like a king in his area or region. They were also a taxpayer to the king collected from his controlled region. We can say a small land chief and a brave warrior also. Now let's look at the third pair. In the third pair, the king's name given here is Nagbhatta II, and the name of dynasty given in front of him is Gurjar Pratihar. Friends, this pair is correct because the king Nagbhatta II belongs to the Gurjar Pratihar dynasty. The Gurjar Pratihar was a dynasty that ruled much of northern India from the mid 8th to the 11th century. They ruled first at Ujjain and later at Kannauj. Gurjar Pratihar dynasty originated in Gujarat and southwest Rajasthan. The Gurjar Pratihars were instrumental in containing Arab armies moving east of the Indus River. Nagbhatt I defeated the Arab army under Junaid and Tamin in the Caliphate campaigns in India. Under Nagbhatt II, the Gurjar Pratihar became the most powerful dynasty in northern India. He was succeeded by his son Rambhadra, who ruled briefly before being succeeded by his son Mihir Bhoj. Under Bhoj and his successor Mahendrapal I, the Gurjar Pratihar dynasty reached its peak of prosperity and power. The founder of this dynasty was Harichandra, but the first important ruler was Nagbhatt I. Kings like Nagbhatt I, Vatsraj, Mihir Bhoj I, Mahendrapal I, and Mahipal I are seen as the main ruler of this dynasty. In the fourth pair, the name of the king given as Bhoj, and in front of him, the name of dynasty given here is Rashtrakoot. Friends, this pair is wrong because Raja Bhoj is not from Rashtrakoot dynasty, but he is from Parmar dynasty. As you can see, the name of King Bhoj here in this list of Parmar dynasty. Bhoj is one of the main ruler of the Parmar dynasty who defeated the Turks and made Dhar as capital. The Rashtrakoot was a royal Indian dynasty ruling a large part of the Indian subcontinent between the 6th and 10th century CE, roughly between 753 to 982 AD. Their languages was Kannada. Danti Durga, also known as Danti Varman, was the founder of the Rashtrakoot Empire of Manyakhet. He made Manyakhet his capital, that's why they are also known as Rashtrakuts of Manyakhet. His reign lasted till about 735 to 756 AD. His capital was based in Gulbarga region of Karnataka. His successor was his uncle Krishna I, who extended his kingdom to all of Karnataka. You can see the main kings of the Rashtrakuts here in this list. So this is how we solve this question, and the answer will be option B. That is, only two pairs are correctly matched here. I hope you must have understood this question, and from this you must have got an idea that UPSC also asks some such simple and direct questions. By the way, if seen according to UPSC, this question was very easy and static, which can be solved by you in less than 1 minute in best cases. You must have also understood that it is also important to remember the names of the kings of history and their dynasties because UPSC sometimes asks questions from here as well. I hope you like this video. While sharing the information with you students, we apologize if there has been any error in our speaking or in our research. Okay? Fine. Thank you so much for listening to me.